What is sundial clock? A sundial is a device that tells the time of day when there is sunlight by the apparent position of the sun in the sky. It indicates time by using a light spot or shadow cast by the position of the sun on a reference scale. In a broader sense, a sundial is any device that uses the sun's altitude or azimuth to show the time. In addition to their time-telling function, sundials are valued as decorative objects, literary metaphors, and objects of intrigue and mathematical study. Local solar time. Before the coming of the railways in the 1840s, local time was displayed on a sundial and was used by the government and commerce. Before the invention of the clock, the sundial was the only source of time. After the invention, the sundial became more important as the clock needed to be reset regularly from a sundial, as its accuracy was poor. A clock and a dial were used together to measure longitude. As the sun appears to move across the sky, the shadow aligns with different hour lines which are marked on the dial to indicate the time of day. What is candle clock? Since ancient times, people everywhere have been developing all sorts of instruments for tracking the progress of time. One such interesting instrument was the candle clock, which was used for timekeeping since way before the advent of the mechanical clock. Candle clocks are one of the ways that ancient people attempted to use natural phenomena to keep accurate record of the time during the day. They consist of a long thin candle which is marked at even intervals. When the candle is lit, it burns down at a relatively steady pace, and by keeping track of which mark the flame is at, you can get a rough estimate of how much time has passed since it was lit. A candle clock uses a candle as its main element for showing the passage of time. It is made out of a particular type of wax whose rate of burning is known. The height and width of the candle is fixed accordingly, so that it may be able to accurately show the passage of the required duration of time. For example, if a candle burns down an inch in 15 minutes, then markings can be made at 1 inch interval starting from the top end. Thus, when the candle burns down an inch, the user would know that 15 minutes have elapsed. When it burns down 2 inches, he or she would know that 30 minutes have gone by, and so on. The candle clock can only be used to tell the time interval that has elapsed, and therefore cannot be used to tell the exact time of the day.
Another instrument for measuring time is pendulum clock. It is a clock that uses pendulum as its time-keeping element. A pendulum is a weight suspended from a pivot so that it can swing freely. The advantage of a pendulum clock for timekeeping is that it is a harmonic oscillator. It swings back and forth in a precise time interval dependent on its length and resists swinging at other rates. It was invented by Christian Huygens in 1656. Huygens was inspired by investigation of pendulums by Galileo Galilei. Actually, Galileo Galilei had an idea for a pendulum clock in 1637, which was partly constructed by his son in 1649, but neither lived to finish it.
Quartz clock. Quartz clock is operated by the vibrations of a quartz crystal controlled by a microcircuit. Also a clock that uses an electronic oscillator. Example to this is wall clock quartz. Quartz is better than automatic. Advantage of quartz caliber is accuracy. Quartz movements are far more than accurate than mechanical movements. Another advantage to a quartz clock is convenience.
The electric clock is a device powered by electricity. This clock was replaced by quartz clock in 1980s. The first run of this clock is on 1840s, but because of lack of electricity, it was published on 1890s. The alarm clock is a type of small machine built with sound and vibration. It was designed to help you awaken from sleep for a short nap. Sometimes it also be your reminder to your meetings, schedules, and etc.
A water clock or clepsydra is any timepiece by which time is measured by the regulated flow of liquid in flow type or from outflow a vessel, and where the amount is then measured. Water clock are one of the oldest time measured instrument. The bowl-shaped outflow is the simplest form of the water clock and is known have exists in Babylon, Egypt, and Persia around the 16th century BC. Some authors, however, claims that water clocks appeared in China as early as 4000 BC. Stopwatch is used to measure the time interval of an event. It is a kind of watch that stands out for the accuracy and precision with which it can measure the time of an event. It is also known as chronometer and it is used to measure fractions of time, usually short and accurately.